Playing point guard on NBA 2K can be a very complicated and frustrating experience. From deciding your play style, to what build you're gonna need, to even the type of teammates you need around you. It can be tough, but your struggles have come to an end because whether you're somebody new to playing the point guard position and you just need some advice, or whether you're somebody who already plays point guard but you've just been struggling to play it this year, this is gonna be the exact video that you need. I'm gonna give you guys a full step-by-step breakdown of everything you need to know about playing the point guard position, from play styles, to animations, to builds, to play calls, all types of things like that. Stay tuned, drop a like on the video, hit the sub button, that's all I ask. Let's get into this video. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is your play style, and this is obviously key right here because you want to know what play style best suits you, and that also plays into what type of teammates you're going to need around you as well. And so for your play style, like whether you're somebody who's really good at dribbling, really good at shooting, then maybe P&R is probably the best type of play style for you. That's what I play, and if you guys want to see my animations for small guards, I'll show you guys that right here. But maybe on the other hand, you're not the best dribbler, maybe not the best shooter, and you want to, get more downhill, kick out to your teammates, use your brain a little bit more on offense, then 5-out might be better for you. Obviously, these are not the only two play styles. These are just like the most commonly ran play styles within Pro-Am and things like that, and what you're most likely going to end up picking is one of the two. But you could take somebody like a Joe Nose, for instance, where he runs 5-out, and obviously we know how good their team is with running 5-out. He might not be the best dribbler, he might not be the best shooter, but he doesn't have to be because he knows how to use his brain, he knows how to get his teammates open, and that's why they're such a well-oiled machine. They can beat up on these, P&R teams because their team really knows how to use their head, to be honest. But you could also take a really good P&R team where if they're just getting up threes and they're smacking threes and you know what you're doing, you know how to dribble, you know how to shoot really well, get open, shoot off the peaks, then P&R could be really good for you. It's based off what your play style is, what best suits you. You got to figure that out. Now we're going to talk about what build you need, and obviously depending on the play style that you're going to choose, that's going to determine what type of build you want to play on. For instance, if you're somebody who wants to play P&R, then you're going to want to go with a smaller type of build, maybe a point guard between the heights of like 6 foot to 6'4", 6'5" maybe. You're going to be hiding behind screens, you're trying to get open for threes, shoot your boots, shoot your peaks, all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you have a fast, small type of a player. Maybe you could work out on the taller build, but usually the smaller your player is, the faster you're going to be. And if you guys want to see my build, I've already posted that video, so go check that video out. But maybe you're somebody who wants to play 5-out, and if that's the case, I would say you want to play on a build between the heights of 6'5" to 6'8". Obviously, there's a lot of people who could dribble on 6'9", 6'10s, but if you're going against comp people, most of the time, these sweaty locks and sweaty swings and teams that are rotating, they're not going to allow you to just be dribbling on a 6'10 build. And it's going to be harder to get to where you would really want to get to on that slow of a build. But yeah, I would say 6'5" to 6'8" is like the sweet spot for 5-out. And then also you want to make sure you have a high driving dunk, because most of the time you're going to be getting to the rim. You want to make sure you have a decently high pass ac as well, so you're able to kick to your teammates, you know what I mean? Make those quick dots at times. All those little things are going to be important, but I would say having driving dunk, having a little bit of 3-ball, having high pass ac, those are the things that you're going to need if you're playing 5-out. And now obviously if you're playing as a small guard, then you want to make sure you have a high 3-ball, you're dribbling behind screens, you want to make sure you have a high ball handle, decently high pass ac so you can hit the slips. Those are the type of builds you're going to be looking for, whether you're playing P&R or whether you're playing 5-out. Now, once you figured out what type of play style you want to play and also what build you're going to need, you need to know this as well. This is probably one of the most important things when it comes to playing point guard. You cannot be point guard if you're going to be a selfish player. Nobody bought their game for $100, $70 or whatever it is, loaded up just for you to be, dribble, not looking up, not trying to hit your teammates. They're playing defense, but they're not touching the ball on offense. Like, yes, obviously the players in the corner, players on the hashes, yes, they have to sacrifice because they don't have the ball in their hands at all times. But at the same time though, like if they're open, you gotta make sure you find your teammates. You're giving them that boost of confidence when they're playing defense, and then they hit a shot on the other end. Bro, I promise you, it's just like real life, bro. It's gonna make you feel better. Like, everybody wants to play 2K when they're feeling good, they're hitting their shots, they're knocking their shots down when they're open, they have a point guard who's getting them involved. Those are the type of things you want to make sure that you're keeping in your head as you're playing point guard. Now, obviously, there is going to be times where you're cooking and where you have to be aggressive. Maybe your team is down a little bit, and that's where having the right teammates around you, that matters. Like, you want to make sure you have people around you who, although they might not be getting the ball at times, they're still, going to be locked in on defense. They're still going to be doing what they need to do, and they're still going to be focused. Like, those are the type of teammates you want to have around you. Just people who really want to win and they want to play within a system. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is your pace. Your pace is very important as a point guard because basically there's going to be times where you got to be playing faster, and then there's going to be times where you got to play a little bit slower. It just depends on the defense. For instance, there might be a time where a lock is guarding you really, really tight. Like, let's say you're getting the ball on an inbound and he's pressing up on you. You really could just try to get the ball real quick, blow right by him, get to your midi, you know, get to maybe a pull-up three. Those are the times where you might want to play a little bit faster. The times where you want to play slower might be, you know, fourth quarter, up 15, you know, that's where you want to draw up more plays, get easier baskets, maybe send your teammates on a few cuts, seal the deal, seal the game a little bit. Like, it just depends on what the defense is doing and how the game is going. That's going to determine your pace. Reading the defense, another very, very key thing when it comes to playing point guard. You never want to be premeditating any of your moves. You want to make sure everything is all calculated, what from, you know, the passes you make to the shots you're going to take to the type of dribble moves that you do. All of those things are going to be based off of how the defense is playing you. Like, one of the first things you should be paying attention to when you load into a game is what type of defense they're running, because whether they're running a 2-3 or maybe a 3-2, or they're playing some type of like man hybrid zone type of defense, or, you know, maybe the center's guarding the pick and roll instead of them having like an actual swing. Like, those are the things you should be paying attention to, and it's going to make the game a whole lot easier for you. It could even be a play like this where I know the defender out of the right corner is, you know, he's baiting, bro. He's baiting so hard, bro, and he wants to help off of me. I'm already cooking, and so he doesn't want to let his teammates die. He wants to give his teammates some help. I'm knowing that, so I'm a quick dot my boy right here in the corner, and now I'm just creating easy shots for my team. Or you could take another play like this where I know that the center on the right hash is going to rotate and try to, you know, get down to the paint. So I'm going to quick dot my boy right here on the hash, and now he has a wide open shot. It's just little plays like this. You want to make sure you're reading the defense, reading what they're doing, reading what rotations they're going to make. All those little things are key when you're playing point guard. Now, it's going to be very important that you're calling plays throughout the game. That's going to keep the offense flowing for your team. It's going to allow the offense to not get stagnant, because there might be times where, you know, it's a little rough. You haven't scored in maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Those are the perfect times for you to start calling a few plays. But not even just when the offense is stagnant, even times when you're up maybe 10, 12, you know, 14 points. Those are the good times to start calling plays too, because then you're going to really get the other team rattled, get their defense moving a little bit, get their defense a little shaky. They're going to be calling timeouts. They're not going to know what to do when you're just drawing up different types of plays. So it's always good to have a few plays in the back of your mind that you want to run based off what the defense is, you know, doing as well. You don't want to just do any type of play at any time. You want to make sure you're seeing how the defense is moving, and then you know, draw up a play based off of what the defense looks like. For instance, here's a play right here that most prime guards run for their hashes, to where basically if the hash defender looks a little bit sleepy on defense, you could just send your hash on a fake backdoor cut and then just dex back out to the 3-point line, and usually it will be a wide open shot. Obviously, it's not always going to be there. You know, sometimes the hash defender is really good, but if the hash defender looks a little sleepy, this is a great play to run. Team chemistry is another very important thing when it comes to playing point guard. You want to make sure you have a team that has, you know, camaraderie. You know, you work well together, guys that actually want to win. It's not just about, you know, like selfish things, because that's a big thing when it comes to, you know, making a team. Everybody's mind has to be on one thing, and that's winning only, because, bro, if anybody's off track, bro, it's gonna mess the whole entire thing up. Trust me, I've played on a lot of teams to know that. But having a group of guys to where you guys enjoy playing the game together, you know, it's not too much arguing. Obviously, you know, everybody's gonna butt heads at times, but having guys that actually enjoy hooping together, bro, that's gonna make your job so much easier as a point guard. If you guys are getting on consistently, it just makes your job 10 times easier. Now we're going to talk about making the game easier. I feel like so many people make this game so much more complicated than it really is. This game is really just all reading and reacting. That's all it is, bro. Like, if the defense is playing you too tight, you know, take what they give you. If they're giving you that mid-range, take the mid-range. If they're giving you your 3, back up, take that 3. You know, if they're giving you the drive, then take the drive. You don't always have to go for a 3. You can take your 2s at times, bro. It's a game of runs at the end of the day. That's how basketball works. But I see so many people, they just make the game so much more difficult than it needs to be. Take what's there, bro. Do not complicate the game. Hit the wide open slips when it's there. Hit your teammates in the corner when they're wide open, or if they have a backdoor cut, you know, make them go on an easy cut and, you know, put your team up too. Like, just little things like that. Do not overcomplicate the game. Make it easy for yourself and for your team. Now, staying up to date is another very important thing. You want to make sure you're staying up to date with what's going on in the game, whether that's new dribble moves being dropped, or, you know, better jump shots coming out. Like, those are the things you want to be paying attention to when you're playing guard. You don't want to be left behind while everybody else is getting better, getting all the best dribble moves, the best jumpers. You're falling behind because you've been on the same jumper, same dribble move since day one. You want to make sure you're staying up to date, checking what's new, checking what animations are good, you know, all the little things like that. Like, you know, what builds are even better than the ones you're currently using. Like, you want to make sure you're focused on those little things in order to stay up to date with the game and, you know, be able to compete against some of the best of the best players. So you guys already know what that means. You got to keep returning for more Wavy JC videos, more animation videos, build videos, all those things like that, so you can stay up to date. But that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you learned anything from this video, if you took anything, any tips, anything like that, make sure you smash the like button, hit the sub button. Y'all got to keep going crazy. We're going to keep bringing out these videos for y'all. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.